Nacho Libre is set on winning Hermana Encarnación's heart.
Encarnación!
But how far is he going to go to romance her? Keep watching to find out as you learn some handy Spanish vocab.
Tengo una idea.
¿Cuál?
Sal con ella esta noche. Llevaré a 2, 3 amigos míos para que te golpeen. Pero te dejaremos ganar.
¿A dónde me llevas?
Pues verás, vi a un vago por aquí. Eran 2 vagos. Y me dije, Ignacio, hay que hablarles de la Biblia.
¿Pero dónde están?
No están. Deben estar por aquí.
¿Y la túnica por qué no la traes?
Estaba apestosa. Pero esta es mi ropa de salir.
¿Es cara o parece?
Gracias. Es decir, sí. Tal vez parezca costosa, pero bajo la ropa está un hombre. Y bajo ese hombre encontramos su núcleo.
¿Núcleo?
Sí. Escúchame, no me gusta cómo te vieron esos 2.
Tengo una idea.
¿Cuál?
¿Cuál here means what. Generally, ¿cuál means which, and it can be used either in a direct question like ¿cuál te gusta más? Which do you like more? Or in an indirect question like no sé cuál es más listo. I don't know which is smarter. Let's see what idea Esqueleto has come up with.
Tengo una idea.
¿Cuál?
Sal con ella esta noche.
Sal con ella in this scene means go out with her. Sal is a form of the verb salir, which means to leave or to get out of. If you've seen our video, Learn Spanish with the Big Bang Theory, Leonard State, you will know that salir con means going out or dating somebody. Sal is also the Spanish word for salt. Esqueleto is suggesting Nacho take Hermana Encarnación on a date.
Sal con ella esta noche. Llevaré a 2, 3 amigos míos para que te golpeen. Pero te dejaremos ganar.
Te dejaremos ganar means we'll let you win. Dejaremos is a form of the verb dejar, which means to allow. Ganar means to win. Dejar ganar is a commonly used expression meaning to let someone win. Here, Esqueletos' brilliant plan is to have Nacho win in a fake fight to impress Hermana Encarnación.
Llevaré a 2, 3 amigos míos para que te golpeen. Pero te dejaremos ganar.
¿A dónde me llevas?
Pues verás, vi a un vago por aquí. Eran 2 vagos.
¿A dónde literally means whither, but it's most commonly translated as where. There are several ways to ask where in Spanish, like a dónde, and dónde, which can all be used interchangeably. For example, ¿dónde me llevas? Where are you taking me? Or, ¿a dónde vamos? Where are we going? Verás means you see in this scene. Verás is the future tense of the verb ver, to see. However, just like in English, it can also be used to explain a current situation. Vago means bum or slacker when used as a noun, but it means lazy when used as an adjective. For example, Nacho Libre es muy vago. Nacho Libre is very lazy. Versus Nacho Libre busca a un vago. Nacho Libre is looking for a bum. Here, there are no bums, only Nacho's plan to win Hermana Encarnación's heart.
¿A dónde me llevas?
Pues verás, vi a un vago por aquí. Eran 2 vagos. Y me dije, Ignacio, hay que hablarles de la Biblia.
Me dije means I said to myself. Dije is a form of the verb decir, which means to say. Me in this sentence means myself. And if you're wondering who Ignacio is, it's Nacho. Nacho is what you call people named Ignacio, like Ned and Edward. Hay que means have to. Hay comes from the verb haber, which means to have. And while que usually translates to that or which, when it follows hay, it translates as to. For example, hay que andar todos los días. You have to walk every day. Here, Nacho Libre is saying that he wants to talk to some bums about the Bible, but we as the audience know that's not true.
Y me dije, Ignacio, hay que hablarles de la Biblia.
¿Pero dónde están?
No están. Deben estar por aquí.
Deben comes from the verb deber, which means must or should. Be careful because while deber as a verb means must, deber as a noun means duty or obligation. And deberes means homework. Estar means to be. So deben plus estar means must be. Another example would be deben estar contentos. They must be happy. Nacho Libre is saying that the two bums should be around here somewhere.
¿Pero dónde están?
No están. Deben estar por aquí.
¿Y la túnica por qué no la traes?
Traes here is translated as wearing it. Traes comes from the verb traer, which means to bring. As you can see, it is not a literal translation. A literal translation would be, why don't you bring it? However, why aren't you wearing it is a more natural translation. Since here, Hermana Encarnación is talking about Nacho not wearing his robe outside the monastery. Sometimes it's hard to not get stuck on the literal meaning of words to understand what someone is saying, especially when you look up a sentence like ¿Por qué no la traes? On an automatic translator and get this. It's technically not wrong, but it just doesn't work when talking about clothing like they are in this line. However, if you were watching a video on FluentU, an app for learning Spanish with authentic videos, you can click on vocab that is new to you and get context-specific definitions and video examples for you to really learn how to incorporate the vocab you learn.
Te costará caro. ¿Cuánto dinero traes?
That way, you can quickly tell if traes means wearing or bringing. On FluentU, you learn to speak like a native through thousands of real-world videos, like movie scenes, TED Talks, and music videos, clips from TV shows, all of them with accurate interactive subtitles created by language experts. FluentU also gives you personalized quizzes and speaking questions based on what you just watched to make sure that you remember everything you just learned. Try it right now for free by signing up for a 2-week trial, link in the description below. Plus, FluentU is currently having a sale, so right now is the perfect time to check it out.
¿Y la túnica por qué no la traes?
Estaba apestosa. Pero esta es mi ropa de salir.
The adjective apestosa refers to Nacho's robes and it comes from the verb apestar, which means to stink. His robes being stinky is of course just an excuse for him to show off his outfit. Salir in this scene means going out. Salir typically translates to get out or to leave. Here, however, Nacho is saying that these are the clothes he wears when he goes outside the monastery, which is why ropa de salir translates to going out clothes.
Estaba apestosa. Pero esta es mi ropa de salir.
¿Es cara o parece?
Cara here means expensive, and yes, it's also the same word for face. Cara is the female version of the adjective caro, which always means expensive. Parece here means they seem to be. Parece comes from the verb parecer, which means to seem or to look. Another example of parece would be parece que no le gusta. It looks like he doesn't like it. Hermana Encarnación is just trying to be nice in this very awkward situation.
¿Es cara o parece?
Gracias. Es decir, sí. Tal vez parezca costosa, pero bajo la ropa está un hombre.
Es decir here means I mean. Es decir generally translates to in other words or that is to say. But that's a bit formal for Nacho. On top of that, Nacho is not trying to give further explanation and is only correcting himself. So, es decir here means I mean. Costosa is another word for expensive. It sounds closer to the English word costly, and it comes from the Spanish verb costar, which means to cost. Costoso or costosa are used mainly in Latin America, while in Spain we tend to stick with caro or cara. Both words are understood by all Spanish speakers though. Here, Nacho is talking nonsense about the inside being what matters, regardless of his fancy-looking clothes.
Gracias. Es decir, sí. Tal vez parezca costosa, pero bajo la ropa está un hombre. Y bajo ese hombre encontramos su núcleo.
¿Núcleo?
Bajo here means under. Bajo has a lot of wildly different meanings depending on how it's used in a sentence. If bajo is used as a preposition, it means under or beneath, like tiene mallas bajo sus calzoncillos. He has tights under his underwear. If bajo is used as an adjective, it means shorter. For example, es más bajo que él. He's shorter than him. If used as a noun, bajo can mean base or ground floor. Núcleo can either mean nucleus or core. Since Nacho Libre is talking about what's inside him, core is a more accurate translation in this context since nucleus is more scientific. Here, Nacho seems to be talking about his heart, but Hermana Encarnación is left just as confused as we are.
Y bajo ese hombre encontramos su núcleo.
¿Núcleo?
Sí. Escúchame, no me gusta cómo te vieron esos dos.
Escúcheme is the imperative of the verb escuchar, which means to listen to. It's conjugated in the formal usted. An example of escúcheme might be cállese y escúcheme. Shut up and listen. Another example might be escúcheme. Tenemos un PDF de vocabulario gratis. We've created it so you can easily access and study all of the vocabulary we have learned today. Get it by clicking on the link in the description below. ¿Cómo te vieron esos dos? Translates to how those two looked at you. ¿Cómo means how, and te vieron literally means they saw you. But a much more natural translation is looked. By this point, Nacho is desperate to pick a fight to impress Hermana Encarnación.
Escúchame, no me gusta cómo te vieron esos dos. ¡Hey! ¿No ven que esta mujer es monja?
No ven here means can't you see? Ven comes from the verb ver, which means to see. Be careful because ven is also a form of the verb venir, which means to come. If no ven were said outside a question, it would mean they do not see. For example, no ven que esa mujer es una monja. They don't see that that woman is a nun. Another example is no ven el botón de suscribirse. Subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos like Learn Spanish with Selena Gomez. Monja always means nun. It's the female version of monje, which means monk. In this scene, Nacho is accusing those two men of checking Hermana Encarnación out.
¡Hey! ¿No ven que esta mujer es monja? Si tienen algún problema con eso, arréglenlo conmigo.
Arréglenlo here means take it up. Arréglenlo comes from the verb arreglar, which means to fix. Arreglar can be used literally to mean to fix things, or it can be used figuratively to mean to mend, to resolve, or to take up with someone. Here, Nacho Libre is looking for a fight more than looking out for Hermana Encarnación's honor.
Si tienen algún problema con eso, arréglenlo conmigo. Ok. ¿Listos? No saben con quién se meten.
Listos here means ready. It's short for ¿están listos? Are you ready? But be careful because the adjective listos can also mean smart or clever. For example, Nacho y su amigo no son muy listos. Nacho and his friend aren't very smart. So, how do you know if someone means ready or smart? It's simple. When someone means ready, they usually say listos by itself, or it's accompanied by the verb estar, to be. For example, no están listos. They're not ready. And remember, regardless of the meaning, listos is the masculine plural form of the adjective. So it can also be used as listo, lista, and listas. And they can all mean ready. It just depends on the subject. Here, Nacho is asking the two bums if they're ready to fake fight him. Se meten here means you're messing with. Meten comes from the verb meter, which means to put. However, when you use the verb meter plus a personal pronoun, the meaning changes. If you're talking about a person, like se mete con ellos, he's messing with them, it means to mess with someone. If you're talking about a place or a situation, like no sabes dónde te metes, you don't know what you're getting into, it means that you're probably getting into trouble. Here, Nacho is saying the two bums are going to regret ever meeting him.
Ok. ¿Listos? No saben con quién se meten. ¿Habían visto esto? ¿Estos movimientos?
Esto, this, is used when talking about something that is relatively close, while eso, that, is used when talking about something that's a bit further away. However, esto doesn't only refer to objects, it can also refer to people. For example, estos niños están mirándolos. These children are watching them. The same thing applies to eso. Esos dos están decepcionados. These two are disappointed. In this scene, han visto eso refers to Nacho's moves.
¿Habían visto esto? ¿Estos movimientos? ¿Qué esperan? ¡Vengan!
¿Qué esperan here means what are you waiting for? The verb esperar means to wait, but it can also mean to expect. For example, Nacho espera ganar la discusión. Nacho expects to win the argument. To know which meaning is the right one, to wait or to expect, just look at what comes after the verb. If it's followed by a, it means to wait. For example, Nacho está esperando a Esqueleto. Nacho is waiting for Esqueleto. Here, Nacho is antsy to get his plan in motion. Vengan is an imperative of the verb venir, which means to come. It's often used to mean come on, come here, or simply come. Nacho is basically asking them to hit him already.
¿Qué esperan? ¡Vengan!
Por aquí means over here in this scene. Por means over or around in this context. And aquí always means here. Esqueleto finally found Nacho Libre, but it might have been a little too late. Now let's watch the whole clip without subtitles so you can see how much you've learned.
Tengo una idea.
¿Cuál?
Sal con ella esta noche. Llevaré a 2-3 amigos míos para que te golpeen. Pero te dejaremos ganar.
¿A dónde me llevas?
Pues verás, vi a un vago por aquí. Eran 2 vagos. Y me dije, Ignacio, hay que hablarles de la Biblia.
¿Pero dónde están?
No están. Deben estar por aquí.
¿Y la túnica por qué no la traes?
Estaba apestosa. Pero esta es mi ropa de salir.
¿Es cara o parece?
Gracias. Es decir, sí. Tal vez parezca costosa, pero bajo la ropa está un hombre. Y bajo ese hombre encontramos su núcleo.
¿Núcleo?
Sí. Escúchame, no me gusta cómo te vieron esos dos. ¡Hey! ¿No ven que esta mujer es monja? Si tienen algún problema con eso, arréglenlo conmigo. Ok. ¿Listos? No saben con quién se meten. ¿Habían visto esto? ¿Estos movimientos? ¿Qué esperan? ¡Vengan!
In this next video, tensions are high amongst this ring of drug lords. So go find out what happens in that Narcos episode while you learn more Spanish vocab and enjoy more Mexican accents.